Hello and welcome you all to the webinar on iVend 6.4 Features, Functionalities and Enhancements. This is our second webinar of three-part series on iVend 6.4. For the participants who missed the first webinar, you may find it over SETI Access Knowledge Portal. I would like to use this opportunity to thank and appreciate you all for taking out your time to attend the webinar today. It is really very good to see such an overwhelming response. We have people across the globe to attend this webinar. Myself, Vikhyat Agarwal from SETI Access, and I'm working in the capacity of functional consultant over here. I'll preside over this about an hour-long webinar. Further, I would really appreciate and encourage you all to put forward your questions with a little request that please restrict your questions to the topics which I'm going to cover today. For your information, there are other channels available for your queries like support, forums on CKP, etc. Also, there are knowledge articles, videos, questions answered on forums, etc. to enhance and enrich your understanding of the product. At any point, if you have any question, please raise your hand or type in chat window. I'll take your questions at the end of the session. In the next hour or so, I'm going to guide you through the latest functionalities and features we have introduced in our flagship product, iVend. This will help retailers to deliver enhanced shopping experience to their customers using technology innovations. I have designed this session into three major sections. First, I'm going to talk about UI enhancements that have been introduced on point of sale and our back office application management console. These enhancements enable managers in the retail organization to configure UI to meet local requirements, make UI more intuitive and user-friendly. Then we will talk about implementation-related enhancements. We have introduced many new enhancements that will make iVend implementation process much more simpler and will considerably cut short iVend implementation period. And by the end, we will talk about various operations related enhancements. These enhancements are basically focused on SKU or merchandise management operations. And an element of something I can call as intelligence have been introduced to make life of merchandise managing people much more easier. So without much ado, I'll proceed myself with the first section, which is UI enhancements. Now, when we talk about the UI enhancements, the most starking or the major development that we have done over here is the reorganization of our UI screen. We have introduced new sections over there, administration, operations, reports, and a completely new functionality of search has been introduced. Now, the idea behind this reorganization is very simple. In every organization, there is a set of people who performs a set of activities. So there might be a set of people who are involved in configuration. There might be a set of IT people who are involved in managing connectivity. Then there would be a set of logistics people involved in inventory transaction and so on. And quite often, these people are involved with the menu items related to their job function itself. So based on their job function, we have grouped all the menu items into these three headers. Okay, so let me go browse through to our management console application so I can give you much more better look and feel of what we have done. So for the people who are involved in configuration, system maintenance, people who are administrators, super administrator, all the menus which are relevant to them have been grouped under administration section. So we have system initialization, application setup, financials, etc., kind of basic configurations over here. Along with it, in the IT administration, you can see we have new windows of replication monitor and integration monitor and database backup and etc. Now, previously in the earlier versions, this used to be a separate utility which had to be opened from Windows utility. But from this version, everything, all of these windows and applications are under a single umbrella of iVend Management Console. Then For day-to-day operations like inventory management, for stock transfers, for creation of new products, which are very integral to day-to-day operations of any of the retail organization, all that has been clubbed under a single header of operations. So if I'm from operations, I need not to look into the section elsewhere. I simply need to go to operations and I'll definitely find one of my options over here. Finally, over the years, we have realized that now iVend has a lot to offer when it comes to reports. Right now, we are offering more than 63 reports with the unlimited capability of Dashboard Designer and newly introduced inbuilt report writer. So we have for the people who are CXOs of the organization, people who are in MIS departments, then for people who are the vertical heads, all the reports based on their functionality has been grouped into a completely different section. Now this reorganization fulfills another purpose. I can set my authorizations based on this reorganized templates itself. So I can say that my configuration people are going to have access only to administration, or my day-to-day people, operations people, are going to have access to operations only. Going further, with iVend 6.4, we have introduced a new search window. Now we have lot of offers for menu and operations in our management console. And at times, especially for new people, we have figured that they find it a bit difficult to find any menu. So let's take a case that I'm looking for inventory counting. Now, being such an exhaustive application, it's really tough for me to find the inventory counting menu. So I'll go for this search, write inventory over here and click on the search button, and all the menus which has inventory in it will appear over here. So I'll simply go to inventory counting, click over here, and inventory count window appears. Isn't it good? But with this iVend team, good is simply not good enough. They always go for the wow experience. Things has to look great. And for this wow experience, this is something new that we have introduced in this version. We have come up with a huge list of new screens. So what you can do now, based to give a new feeling to your users, based on your season or any festival, or the mood around, you can set your skin. This skin would be applicable on your management console and point of sale also. Now in this example, I have set the skin to be Christmas. Now think of a scenario that I have my Christmas promotions running in my store. My store is being, designed as per the Christmas theme. I have Christmas tree over there. Everything is joy. My brand is something which is signifying to be, joy, family brand, happy. And at the same time, on the point of sale, I have a customer display and I have applied this Christmas theme over there. Now, when somebody looks at my customer display, my point of sale works as my brand extension over there, and it leaves a long lasting impression over my customer mind. This is something which, the marketing geeks call as subliminal marketing. So how to configure it? Let me browse you through the application and show you how we can configure this in an iVend. So the process is very simple. Go to your management console, go to administration, go to application setup, retail configuration. Over we have retail profile. Open the retail profile which is applicable on the point of sale user. Open it in edit mode, scroll down. Over here with application theme, we have all the skins available in the iVend. Currently, the skin over here is iVend Metro skin. This is the by default attire of our iVend application. Let's do one thing. Let me change this skin to Valentine. And see, we have the immediate impact over here. Just think that I have this Valentine week promotions going on, and this skin, this pink skin, works, as extends my mood, my brand to my customer. Now, for the sake of this demo, I'll go back to our default screen, which is iVend Metro skin. Okay, so going for our next enhancement in UI, which is globalized on-screen keyboard. Now, we know that iVend is a globalized product. We often say that this is a product which is being sold in more than 50 countries, thousands of customers across the globe. But at times we come across situations where the requirement is quite and specifically to the localized needs. And this happens most of the times for the UI. Now just think of a situation wherein I have my stores in United States. Now obviously when I have a store in United States, my by default language is going to be English. But think my store is somewhere down south in United States, somewhere in Texas, in a county where Spanish is a very common language. And my point of sale user come across people who want or who understand Spanish very well. Now, obviously, my point of sale user has to toggle a lot between English and Spanish keyboard to capture these values. Tough job, isn't it? But in iVend, we have made the life of this point of sale user much more easier. What we have introduced is a new functionality by which the point of sale user can easily toggle between the different languages. Now, how to go with it? Now, the process is very simple. Go to your Windows country or region bar, add a language over here, add all the languages that you want to toggle between. So in this demo case, to show you the starking difference, I have configured English, Chinese and Arabic over here. Go to your to your point of sale and just press the single language button over here. Okay, so just let me show you over point of sale that how this can be done. I'll go to my point of sale. Let's say I'm registering or searching a new customer. I'll go for customer search. Now over here, the current language is English. I simply click EN over here and my tab gets changed to Arabic. Okay. Now going further, now going further, the next configuration that I'm going to talk about is multi-language item description. Now, extended this example, now there might be a possibility that I want to run my whole point of sale on Spanish itself. And when it comes to any of the product, let's take an example that for men's Levi's jeans, my Spanish user do not understand the name by men's Levi's jeans. He understands some Spanish translation for it. Now it makes a perfect sense for my point of sale user to search this product, to sell this product over point of sale using this language, Spanish itself. Now with this version, we have introduced a new functionality where we can, save the alternate description of a product in multiple languages. Using this alternate description, we can search the product on point of sale. We can display search results based on this alternate language. And moreover, our receipts can be customized to print the product description in this alternate language itself. So just let me toggle through the management console and show you how we can configure this over there. So I'll go to my operations, inventory. I'll go for product and search for one of the product that I've already configured. So I'll search for the product. My product is men's Levi's jeans. I'll open the product in edit mode. Now with this version, we have introduced a small checkbox over here. When I select this checkbox, my language translation window appears. It shows me the current value, the current description of the product, and using this add row, I can add the alternate description for this product. So let's say I'm going to add another description in Africanas and call it something around farm or jeans, and I'll click OK. Now just for this demo, I want you to notice that for the Spanish, I have saved this value in hombre, for men's Levi's jeans as hombres Levi's jeans. I'll click OK and my configuration is saved. Now to populate this alternate language over my point of sale, first I have to enable my point of sale user with this particular culture info. For that, I'll go for administration, human resource, my employee. I'll open the employee which is going to log in over my point of sale. Click edit over here and I'll apply his preferred language or culture info as Spanish. Now I say OK. So let's do one thing. Let's go to point of sale and see the impact of this configuration over there. So I'll go over my point of sale and scan this product over my point of sale and see over here in description, rather than the English translation, I have the Spanish alternate language description over here. Similarly, if I go for product search and search for this product over there, again the description in this Spanish language itself. Also, I can search the very same product using the Spanish description itself. But more importantly, our receipts can now be customized to capture the Spanish language description over the receipts, right? So this is something which we have introduced on our new UI enhancements. So this was basically about what we have to offer on our UI enhancements. I hope that this is going to equip you all to go to go further with your clients and customize your UI and localizations as per their requirements. Now the next set of enhancements that we have is in the area of implementation. We have an import and export functionality for metrics items, and along with it we have a product import enhancements. So before I talk about metrics items, or before I talk about what enhancements we have, let's first discuss what item metrics is. Item metrics is a product variant management solution of iVend to sell, manage, or procure items that have similar attributes such as size, color, or style. Further, an metrics item has a generic parent item having corresponding variant child items based on combination of associated products. A very heavy definition. But believe me, this definition encapsulates the item metrics functionality of iVend. So let's take an example and try and understand what this item metrics is all about. Let's say I'm in apparel industry and I'm into selling this Lacoste shirt. Now, obviously, this Lacoste shirt won't be ever sold as an over-the-shelf SKU, where a customer will come to me and say, I'll need a Lacoste shirt. Obviously, a customer is going to search for the variant. He's going to say, okay, I need the medium-sized Lacoste shirt, which is blue in color, and maybe, with some other pattern. So for that, we cannot manage the inventory or selling or purchase of this parent product itself. We need to create its child products or its variants based on its features, which we call attributes in iVend. So I'm going to configure attributes, which is in this current example is color and size. In color, I have further attribute details by white and blue, and in size I have medium and large. So based on the combination of this attribute details along with this parent product, I'm going to create the variants. So I have 4 variant products over here: Lacoste shirt white medium, Lacoste shirt white large, Lacoste shirt blue, Lacoste shirt blue large, and so on. Now let's see that how we have enhanced this functionality or enhanced the implementation process of this functionality. iVend item metrics has been a very integral part of iVend application from a long time. Truly speaking, any of our client who goes for large amount of SKUs inevitably use this part of the application. Previously, we used to have the manual process of creating parent and child items on management console. Now this used to be a good process because I just had to create a parent item, select the attributes combination, and the child product variants get created automatically. But think of a situation where I have to create something like 50,000 or 100,000 SKUs. Obviously, this manual process is going to be very tedious. So with this iVend 6.4, we have come up with importing of parent products as well as importing of child products directly into the system. So this is the process of creating an item metrics items into iVend. First, I need to create the attributes. So as I have discussed previously, attributes is basically the features or the the patterns on which the variants differ from each other. Then I can go with the old classic school style that I can create the parent and child products manually, or With this 6.4, I can import parent products. Now, when I import the parent products, again, I can go for this either of three approaches. One, I create the child products manually, which is again, the classic style. I can import the child products. Now, when I import the child products, again, we have two methodologies to go with it. One, for the child item codes, their codes will generate automatically, or I can assign the codes for the child products. Now, what this is all about, how we do it, I'm going to take this into further details. This slide was there just to give an overview of how we go along with item metrics and what we are going to talk about now. Okay, so as I've already told, if we go with any of the approaches, the basic most thing that we have to do is create attributes. Now, to create an attribute, I can use either of these approaches. Either I can import the attribute template that I'll mention the ID, the attribute ID over there, along with its description. I'll mention whether it is two-dimensional or not, active or not. Along with it, I'll mention the attribute details and their description. Or I can I can simply go to my management console. Over there in the management console, I can create it manually. So just to give you a flavor of how it is done in our management console, let me go over there and create an attribute manually. So I'll go to operations. I'll search for inventory over there. I have an option by the name of product attribute over there. And over here, I have already created two attributes. So my first attribute is color, which is the attribute detail, along with the attribute details over here, which is black, blue, and white. Similarly, I have configured sizes over here. Now, for our audience who would be wondering that how they are going to access all these templates for iVend, let me show you the path for it. Go to your Windows menu. Now, open the city access folder. By default in my system, it is there on the default path, which is C program files x86 cd access. Over there, go for iVend retail folder. In iVend retail, we have a folder by the name of management console. In management console, we have import templates. So all the templates that can be imported into iVend, a sample template is provided over here. Okay, going back to our slides. Now, once I've created the attributes, I'll import the parent product and the child products. Now, the first method that I'm going to talk about is importing the child products and importing child products along with automatic code generation. For in case I'm going to uh, import the child products automatically, the methodology is for the child products based on the parent product and their attributes, I'm going to generate the ID and description of my child products. Okay, now how is it done? Let's take this example. I have a Lacoste shirt and I'm going to generate 4 child products with it along with color and size. Now I can say the naming of these child products can be done in multiple ways. One could be Lacoste hyphen black hyphen medium. One could be Lacoste space black space medium and so on. So how I'm going to ascertain that if application is going to generate these codes automatically, what is going to be the pattern of these codes? So for this, we have introduced an item metrics global setting window. The definitions that I make on this global setting window would be applicable across my child products definition. So to define this, I'll go to administration. I'll go for retail configuration. I'll scroll down over there on retail configuration and I'll select this item metrics global setting option. Now you can see over here, I have a couple of options related to definition of child products code and description. I'm going to define whether space is going to be used as separator in child item code, or I can give a user defined separator over here. I have mentioned it to be hyphen. Similarly for the description also. Once I'm done with separator, I'm going to tell what abbreviation length in code and description is going to be copied from the parent code or color or size is going to be copied to my child product. So I'm going to say that, okay, first 8 alphabets of my parent product would be used as the first 8 alphabets of my child products. Then same goes for color and size, and I'll do the same activity for description also. Once I'll define the abbreviation length, I'll define the abbreviation order. By default, parent product code or description is going to be the first part of any child product, name, code or description, followed by the attributes. Now over here I can set the order of the attributes as per my wish. So what I said that first, if for any child product, first part is going to be item code, followed by color, and then by size. Now once I have done this item matrix global setting configuration, I'll import my parent product. So with 6.4, we have these few new fields defined or introduced in our templates, parent product template to import a metrics product. So obviously, like before, we have ID, description, group ID, and etc. For metrics item, we have these 4 new fields. First is two-dimensional metrics item or not, that whether my parent product is two-dimensional or not, the valid values are true or false. Then I'm going to say whether it is a metrics item or not. So the moment I said it true, then only my parent product is going to be item metrics relevant. Then I'm going to tell about the attributes, that what all attributes or features are associated with this parent product. So over here I'm saying that this parent product can be, the variants can be done based on color and size. In some other scenario, I can also add pattern and other such attributes over here. And finally, I'm going to define whether the child item definition is going to be auto-generated or not. Now, this is a very important configuration in this particular case, because over here we are going to generate the code and description of child products automatically. So I have set it to be true. Now let's understand what is the implication of marking it to be true. Now when I'm going to import my child products, I have this newly introduced child product template in the iVend. Similarly, if I just go to my management console and navigate to my import data functionality, I have a new object type by the name of child product. So the path that I have shared with you earlier for the templates, you can go over there, open the sample child product, enter your child product details over here, come over there on this data import configuration window, select the object type to be child product, and import your child product template. Now for automatic products, when I'm defining the child product template, I have to keep this ID and description fields to be empty. The reason being, for the child products, these IDs and descriptions are going to be generated automatically based on the definitions we have done on this item metrics global setting. So we are going to keep these two fields to be empty. After that, we are going to specify the parent product ID. Along with parent product ID, I'm going to add the columns for all the attributes which are associated with this parent product. Now, if you remember, if I just go to my previous slide, for this parent product, I had 2 attributes, color and size. So what I've done, I have introduced 2 new columns of attribute size and color in the child product template. And I'll enter the code of the attribute detail. So in my system, when I was configuring attributes, I have given a code M for medium and L for large. Similarly, for black, I had specified BLK over there, and blue, I had specified BLU. As I've told you earlier, I'll go to my data import configuration window, select the child product, select my file, this import file, and hit OK. Now, when I hit OK, these, as you can see in the bottommost screen or the bottommost image, the child products will get generated automatically. So let me just toggle through my management console and let you show how it appears on my management console. So I'll go for operations, inventory, product, and I'll search for the Lacoste product. Now you can see I have a Lacoste parent product over here, and based on my definition in Itometrics global setting window, my child products codes have been generated. Please remember that in my template, I had not specified any code or description for the child products. Going further, if I just drill down to this parent product, as it used to happen in the previous versions also, I can see over here that matrix item is checked over here, and this is a 2D matrix item. Because it is a parent item, my matrix child item option is unchecked. One more thing that I like to share with you all is if I go for product attributes and see over item matrix code setting, the auto generate child code definition field is checked. This means that every time the code for this particular parent product is going to be generated automatically. Okay. Now, similarly, if I go for my child product and I just scroll down, I can see over here that my matrix child item button is checked. Now, this was about generating a child product with automatic code and description. But often we come across situations wherein a particular retailer says that I do not want to generate the child products code and description automatically. Now, how this can happen? Let's say I'm getting my products from Nike, and in Nike environment, for black they are using a code 901, for blue might be they are using 902, and I'm also getting the products from Adidas. And for Adidas, black is denoted by something called 908, and similarly some other code for blue color. Now I cannot have a generic definition for color black and blue in my system because Nike and Adidas themselves are using different codes, and I want to use this Nike, and I want to inherit the Nike and Adidas codes itself because it makes my operations, merchandise operations, much more simpler. So in such a scenario, I want to assign the code and description to my child products manually. Now, how can we do this using the import functionality of iVend? The process is more or less same with few changes here and there. When we are importing the parent product template is going to be similar, with the change that this time around for this auto generate child definition, I'm going to have the flag to be false. Then I'm going to import this parent product. Once the parent product is imported, I'm going to prepare the child product template. Now, if you remember, in contrast to a previous child product template over here for ID and description, I have assigned values. So I have said that my ID is going to be something RLS 0004-981. Description is going to be Ralph shirt M black. Parent product is RLS. And rather than giving all the attribute details, I have specified them individually. So first ID and description corresponds to the combination of size medium and color black. Next one corresponds to size medium and color blue, and so on and so forth. So over here, I'm defining my IDs and descriptions manually. I have to follow the similar process over here. I have to go to my data import configuration window, select the Excel path, object type, and import the product. So let's go to the management console and see how this manually defined child product is different from the automatic one. So I'll go for product. I'll search for my Ralph shirt. Now over here, as in the automatic system, I have the matrix item and 2D matrix item to be checked. But if I go to product attribute and see for item matrix code setting, over here, this auto generate child definition is marked to be false. This means that every time I'm going to generate the child product for this parent product, it's going to be defined manually, right? So isn't it good? From here on, because of this functionality, we are going to save a lot and lot of time when it comes to importing a huge number of parent and child products. Similarly, going further, we have the option to export these parent or child products. We can export it in an Excel format and share it with the client for reporting or any other purposes. Going further, we have introduced new fields for product import. We have made this product import functionality much more enhanced. When I talk about the enhancements, I can group these enhancements into major three categories. First is about multi-comma separated values for alternate UPC codes. So when we say alternate UPC codes, at times, you have the internally defined UPC codes, but you also want to search a product on point of sale using manufacturer's UPC codes. So this gives us the liberty to search the product in either of the ways. Then we have enhancements related to product attributes and item metrics. This is something that I have you know dealt in detail previously. And lastly, we have enhancements related to item cost method. So let's see how we can define each of these fields in our template and what are the valid or non-valid values for these fields. So when I talk about item metrics, and these are the fields that we have already talked about. These are the four fields related to item metrics which has been introduced in product template. First is two-dimensional matrix item or not? The valid values are true or false. Similarly, for is matrix items, again, if it's a matrix item, I'll say true. If it's not, I'll say false. Then I can define the attributes which are going to be associated with the parent product. So I need to mention the attributes code over here. So if you can see on the right side, I have color followed by style followed by size, and I can similarly have pattern and etc etc. Then I'm going to finally define whether the child item definition is going to be auto generated or not. Obviously the values are true or false. Now, when we go for item costing, with iVend Unplugged 6.4, we have new to costing or inventory valuation methods being introduced. I need to correct myself. One has been introduced. We already had standard costing. Average costing has been introduced with this version. So from here on, we have the option to import costing method along with sub costing method for the product. So for the costing method, I can select either none, average or standard cost. And once I have defined the costing method, I can go for the sub costing method, that whether this costing is going to be managed per product warehouse or none. Okay. Along with it, we have a couple of other fields introduced. First is going to be is a bit item, that whether the product is a bit item or not. The valid values are true or false. Then I can define the alternate UPC. So first I need to mention the alternate UPC, the manufacturer's UPC over here, followed by hyphen and the quantity. And finally, with iVend 6.4, we have a new functionality introduced called return days. Return days is going to be dealt in other sessions in much more details, but just to give an idea, return days is basically a window in which the product can be returned or refunded on point of sale. So I can define the number of days over here. I can enter the numeric value for the number of days. So these were the enhancements related to implementation. Hey guys, I can see a couple of queries over here, so I'm just looking into it, that if we can address any of the queries over here. Um, yes, so Chris can hear. Okay, Willie was having a bit of issue. Willie, I believe that most of the people can hear me clearly. Please check your connection and let me know if you're still not able to connect. Okay. Now going further, last I'm going to talk about operations. So when we talk about the operational enhancements, most of these enhancements are related to the operation, the SKUs and merchandise management, that how we have made the merchandise management process much more smarter and intelligent in our application. So the first one is suggested printing on label after price change. By my opinion, this is one of the biggest, or one of the the go-to market functionality that we have introduced in 6.4. We have many things in 6.4. One is like cloud extensibility, etc etc etc, but I'll add this functionality to a series of path breaking functionalities that we have on the floor, on the operational floor. So how this functionality works and what this functionality is all about. So let's think of a scenario that I'm an operational or an inventory management personnel on a store. I manages something around 50,000 SKUs. What I did, I got my truck of inventory yesterday. I took all the products, printed labels from iVend, fixed label on these products, and sent them those products over the floor. Now these products are selling on my shop. Now somehow, because of some reason, I have to update the price of all these products in my system. Now once the price is updated in iVend, obviously I need to update the labels also. But how am I going to do that? Quite possibly for a product I received an inventory of 200. Now 50 is sold. So how am I going to ascertain that what is the inventory left? One classical way that used to be is you go to the product, search for the inventory, get this number 150, then go to item label printing, enter 150 and generate the labels. Now this used to be a very tedious and long process. So to cut short and make the life of a merchandise personnel much more easier, we have introduced the smart label printing in iVend. So let me go through management console and let me give you a view of how this functionality works. Let's go and print few labels. I'll go to item label printing. I'll select for my store, format and other details. I'll go for smart product selection. So this is the new button that we have introduced for smart selection of products. Now I can see over here that I have 4 products over here for whom labels need to be printed. Let me do one thing. Let me generate labels for this product. Remember this product 100102 for which I'm going to generate the labels. I'll select OK and my labels has been generated. Now take my, extending my business case. Now these products, this 100102 is there on flow. Okay, and somehow I need to do the price revision. Let's go into the system and do the price revision for these products. So I'll go to operations, pricing and promotions. I'll go for price list. I'll select the Brooklyn store price list. I'll go for edit and search for my product. Its current price is 24. I have an inflationary impact and I'll change it to 25. I'll say okay. Now obviously, now once the product price has been updated, I need to generate new labels for this product. So let's go to our label window again. I'll go to reports, item label printing. Rather than searching for the product manually and entering its quantity, I'm going to select the smart product selection button. The moment I select this button, I can see my product over here. Now the reason why this product is over here on the smart product selection window is because the last label printing date is less than or is prior to my last price modified date. Now over here we have a time difference. Okay, so you can see the dates to be similar. So application incorporates all those changes into the price modifications. Alternatively, I can also unselect this field by the name of show records of which price has been changed after last label printing. So right now I can only see the products for which price has been changed after last label printing date. But if I want to see all the products, I can simply unselect this button. So let's go smart and see how this works. So I keep this checkbox to be on. I say okay and okay. Sorry, my mistake. So obviously we have a select button over here. So I need to select all the products for which I need to generate the labels. In this case I have a single product, so I'll just simply say choose the select button over here. In case I have a huge list, something like this, then I need not to select each of the product individually. I can simply say select all and all my products will get selected. Along with it, over here on this window, it also shows me the in-stock quantity. That is the quantity that I have in my current warehouse mapped to the store along with the current price. So I'll say okay and my barcodes are generated. So this is how we are making the life of a retailer easier using technology. Going further with these, after these print labels, we have a couple of enhancements related to barcode. One, we have enabled the iVend to scan or define product barcode on product card. Now, if I just tell you the story behind this functionality, at times we had requests from the retailers that they want to use the barcode of their manufacturer itself. They are not going to have their own UPC defined codes. So what they required was a functionality wherein this can simply go to the product window, go to this UPC field, scan the existing barcode on the product, and the barcode gets captured in iVend. So we have introduced this functionality wherein you simply needs to go to the product window. Before than that, your barcode scanner should be OPOS configured with your management console. Open the product in edit mode, go to UPC code, scan the product label, and the UPC code will get captured on the product window. Along with it, we had another couple of requests that people do not want to have duplicate barcodes in the system. So this could raise to a possible conflict wherein if a particular barcode is assigned to two or more than that products on the management console, on scanning the product on point of sale, all the products for which this barcode has been mapped appears over there. So by default in iVend, we have provided a flag over our enterprise settings that whether you want to allow duplicate barcode or not. By default, one cannot have duplicate barcode on the product window. If in case your business scenario, your operations necessitates that you should have duplicate barcode, then you can go to enterprise settings, flag this box, and you can have the duplicate barcode. If in case it is unchecked, whenever you are going to have duplicate barcode in your system, you are going to have a system validation message over here. So just let me go over my management console and give you a flavor of how this functionality works. So I'll go to inventory, product. Let me search a product over here. I'll search for one for this men's solid polo. I have a barcode over here for this product. Let me copy this barcode. Then I'll go for any other product in the system. Let's say I'll go for the other product. I'll go for edit mode and paste this barcode over here. Now the moment I hit OK, system throws me a validation message. UPC defined for current product is already exist for another product. If I need to have duplication of the barcodes, if I want to have that, I simply need to go to enterprise settings, and over here I have this flag. Please note that this setting is applicable across the retail landscape, irrespective of the stores. Okay, so once I have this setting, it would be applicable across my retail stores. So with this, I'll end this session and I'll open the floor for question and answer session. If you have any query, please raise your hand or you can type in the chat window. Okay, so I have a question for Remy. I'm going to unmute Remy for that. Um, yeah, Remy, I have unmute you, please.
Yes, I just want to ask regarding the product import. Can we import data to an existing product with just selected fields we need to import without replacing data not included in the import?
Okay, so what I understand from your query that you already have an isometric maybe you have an isometric scenario or a landscape,
Yes.
and you want to know that whether from here on you can just simply import the template, the update template, and make those products to be isometric products. Is that so?
Yes, right.
Yeah, so for Remy, unfortunately for the existing products, we cannot do that. Okay, because over there we already have definitions done in the system. But from here on, if you want to add any new products in 6.4 scenario, you can use the parent and the child product templates.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now I have another question from Evangelia. I suppose that I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hi, hi Evangelia. I have unmute you.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hi, my
Hi,
name is Evangelia.
Evangelia. Okay.
All right. My question is, you showed earlier on that we can set some authorizations on the different tabs that we have on Management Console.
Exactly.
Can you demonstrate how we can do this?
Yes, please. So if I go,
And yes.
no, please, you were saying something.
Okay. And also because I was not able to watch the first session. I don't know if you have said anything about that in the first session, but we would like to set some authorizations on reports, and I was wondering whether we can have this functionality now for different store users to have different authorizations on reports they are running, such as blocking them from using other stores in their parameters rather than their own warehouse.
Okay,
When
so
they run a report.
okay, so I'll just talk about your first question, which was about
Thank you.
authorization related to the major tabs. So I'll go to, so we have a new menu item by the name of authorization over here. So I need to go to authorization. I'll search for security role. Over here in security role, I can define any new security role, and just give me a moment. And when I go to assign security rights, you can see that all the menu items that we have over here are being, you know, listed over here on the security rights window. So if I see for the administration, system initialization, application setup, financials, till IT administration, everything is there under administration authorization itself. Okay, so over from here I can make any of the user to be no, read, update, or full or add update rights. Okay, so logically when I make somebody know for all these windows, he cannot access the administration part of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. And about the reports, we do not, what I inferred from your query, that you're looking for a data level report. Is that so, that somebody can put authorization based on the store or the parameters he is looking for? So
Yes,
currently we do not have a data level report. What we offer is the complete access, the complete access or no access to a report.
or no. Yes, okay.
Okay, that we have right
All right, thank you very much.
now. Okay, sure. Okay, so yeah, so we have another question from Willie. The question is related to the licensing. Okay, so Willie, I'm really not the right person to talk about it. You may contact our sales department for the licensing policy. What I can say the least, that with 6.4 we have a new licensing policy. Earlier we used to have the licenses based on the hardwares or the machines, the consoles that you had used to have, and now the process has been changed to licensing policy based on users. But to get to the details that how the whole licensing landscape has been changed, I'll suggest that you contact any of our sales personnel, your local sales representative, or contact licenses department. Okay, so I believe, okay, so I believe these were the questions we had. Anyhow, I'll I'll encourage all of you, that if you have any further queries, please go to City Access Knowledge Portal, write your queries over here. One of our expert will get along and reply to you over the City Access Knowledge Portal. In case you want any clarity or you still have any question that you want to ask me on one-to-one basis, you can see my email ID over here at the bottom. You can contact me directly on vikhyat.agarwal@cityaccess.com. But I'll still, prefer all of you to go to knowledge.cityaccess.com. This is our central repository about all we have in iVend, and go learn and collaborate. Okay, sorry, we had something from Mark also. So, okay, so I'm just unmuting you, Mark. If you have any question, please let me know. Okay, I can't see Mark over here. Yes, sorry. Yeah, Mark, I have unmuted you. If you have a question, please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Vikhyat. So I was wanting to ask you a question about the smart selection that you've just shown us for the barcode printing.
Yes, please.
Is there a method in which I can print at least a label for those products which I don't have a UPC defined? So let's say I have a number of products which have a UPC. I'm fine because my products do have their barcode already on the product itself.
Okay.
But I have a number of products which unfortunately do not have a barcode from the manufacturer coming in. And I was wondering how I can quickly, from the item label printing, filter out for just those items where the UPC field is blank.
Okay. So first of all, Mark, in any case, whenever you're going to have any UPC code, you're going to go for the product window in iVend and enter the
Yes,
UPC code over here. Okay. Now what I can see from your query, that what if in case I do not have any UPC code over here on this product window, right? How I can come to know
exactly,
that these are the products for which I do not have UPC code and I need to generate the label. Okay. Now,
exactly.
as far as the label is as far as the label generation is concerned, we do not have this functionality, but I have a workaround for you. You can, with iVend 6.4 we have inbuilt report writing, so you can design a report wherein you can generate the list of all the products which do not have any UPC code. Then
Exactly.
you can either using one of the methodologies that I've talked in this session, that you can scan the UPC, or using the product template you can upload the UPC codes for all these products, okay, and then generate the labels. So rather than using the label generation window, I'll suggest that you go through the route of generating a report and then importing the
Uh-huh.
labels.
Or maybe within the report itself, I can do some special filter which filters out only for those who do not have a UPC or who the UPC field is blank, for example.
Yes, Mark. So this is what I'm saying. See, with 6.4, we
Uh-huh.
have this inbuilt report writer. That it's a user interface that
Yes, yes.
from here on the user himself can create the reports. Okay. In many of the sessions, we are going to talk about this report building functionality much more in detail. You can also go
Very
over
good.
the City Access knowledge portal and search for this functionality over there. So what I'll suggest you that you can go over there, create a report as per your requirement, and yeah, then you can
Uh-huh.
go further, right?
Okay, very good idea. Thank you.
Okay, then Remy has another question, that whether
اسمعني انت كتبت له اكتب له.
okay, so Remy has another question, that if our iVend is plugged to SAP Business One 9.0, create items initially on SAP, how are we going to update iVend with additional fields not integrated to iVend 6.4? Okay, so Remy, if I just take you to this screen where I had talked about the new fields on product import template. Now, just give me a moment. You can see over here that we have a couple of fields which are for iVend plugged only, and few fields which works for both iVend unplugged version and SAP Business One integrated version. So when it comes to item metrics fields, this methodology that I talked about, it was only for unplugged version. When we talk about SAP Business One, product import functionality and child item import functionality was there from a long time. It's a completely different world. I'll suggest you that you go over the CKP and search for the methodology for that. It's a different method. When it comes to item costing fields, item costing in ERP integrated environment would be managed from the ERP itself. So we are not going to upload the templates for item costing in ERP integrated environment. But yes, when it comes to iVend Unplugged, then we can use these fields to upload the item costing. And lastly, these three fields, EBD, alternate and return days, these three things work for both Unplug and SAP Business One. Obviously, we do not have the concept of these three concepts in SAP Business One. So this data won't travel to our SAP application. Is that okay, Remy?
Okay, thank you, Vijay.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a question from Hi, can you explain from Chris? Chris, you have opened the Pandora box. Let me tell you, it's a big thing. I can actually have another hour-long session on this. What is a 2D metrics item and what is not a 2D metrics item? It's a big topic. So just to give you an idea, see, I cannot take this over here in this session. It's really big, but just to give an idea of what a 2D metrics item is, uh, Chris, just think of a scenario that you're selling a shirt. Okay. Now, when you're selling a shirt, what is the first attribute you're going to look for? You're going to look for the color, then maybe pattern. But the most common thing which is going to be applicable for any of the product, for any of the shirt you're going to procure or sell is size, right? So there might be so 2D metrics item is arranging the products in a manner wherein one attributes, and for shirts, most of the time for shirts, size works in this manner, that this based on this particular attributes, I can define the combinations for the other attributes. So just think that if I'm going to have a shirt, it might be possible that I skip the color part, or I say that, okay, rather than color, I'm going to go for the style or the pattern. Okay, but size is something which is very, very integral to the shirt. Okay, so my shirt size is going to be the 2D attribute, and based on this 2D attribute size, I can have its various combinations with color, with style, with pattern, etc., etc. Okay, but I know this do not gives a complete picture. What I'll suggest again to you that go over the CKP. We have a document related to 2D metrics item over here, and maybe you can shoot me a mail offline, and I can provide you the resources related to it, right? And we have another query from Chris related to, with regards to language description, can you describe on how can call descriptions with different languages on the receipt? Okay, so this is going to be a customization. This is going to be a receipt customization. But what we have enabled that you can capture these values. Okay, so earlier you did not have the option to have multiple description or alternate description for a product. From here on, as we have this option, we can go further and customize our receipt to print this alternate description over for the product. Did I answer you, Chris?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I believe these were the questions we had. Uh, Thank you, Chris. Again, I like to reiterate myself that if you have further queries, you can go over City Access Knowledge Portal, which is knowledge.cityaccess.com. Or if you want to shoot any mail directly to me, you can contact me over vikhyat.agarwal@cityaccess.com. With this, I'm closing this session, and thanks a lot to you for this patience and cooperation for the webinar. Looking forward to have this huge participation again in our next series on iVend features, functionality, and enhancements. Thank you all. Thanks a lot and have a good day. Bye.